So guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is about self-development, especially this book. Because one thing I figured is that when you're doing self-development, you see it so easily that wherever you want to go and just learn something out of curiosity or self-development in general, you basically see that all of the YouTube videos are just dopamine, adrenaline, junkie kind of style content. So I thought to myself, the best way for me to learn is by reading and telling it to you guys. And that's also a hack, because then you are able to learn what I learn, and then self-development becomes much faster for both of us. But the catch is, for me to retell the story that I read, it's kind of hard, because I'm from Norway and my language skills and the barrier there might not be as good. But I thought for this video, I'll tell you about this book, Healthy Brain, Happy Life. I believe that the brain and knowing how the brain works is a key priority when you're doing self-development. Because if you're able to figure out just how the brain works, then you can just imprint those strategies to kind of help you learn faster, help you be in a better mood, help you overcome your fears, your addictions. And that's also what the first chapter in this book is about. So let's get into the book. I will not do any fast edits. This is for learning, only learning. So if you don't want to learn, if you want fast dopamine and those hits, just scroll through to the next video. But I'm here to help and I'm here to learn. So let's dive into the book. The first chapter opens with Wendy Suzuki, the author of this book, telling you how she basically got into neuroscience. And neuroscience is how the brain functions and how it works. She opens the book with the first chapters about how her life has been until she's 40, how she got into neuroscience, how her grandfather came to America in 1910, by the way, and started one of the biggest Japanese language schools in America on the southern or western part. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just her story and how she got into it. And basically what she tells is that she tried a lot of different things. She knew that her family expected her to become something great. Her family expected her to become a lawyer, a doctor, anything that's high paying, a high paying job basically. But as we know until this date is that high paying jobs are being online and helping people out. So if you want to take something from the first chapters, it's that you don't have to pursue the dreams of becoming a lawyer or a doctor, because in 10 years AI might have the answers that the lawyers doesn't have. So that's basically the first chapter and what it tells you. She moves on to tell a little bit about how the brain is built up, like the frontal lobe, the prefrontal lobe, the hippocampus, the temporal lobe, and all of that sort of stuff. And that's just basically different brain parts inside of your brain. And she doesn't like illustrate it in any way, so I don't really know which part of the brain is what. But basically what the different things does, it's one of the things help you to see, and one of the parts help you to vision, help you with vision. You see, this is the problem. Here does the language barrier come in when the words are hard and I can't like describe it. But this is just, I've just read the two first chapters, and then I'm trying to test this content style to see if it works. And this is purely for self-development. And I believe that if I'm able to learn something and recreate it in a story, it sits much better with me. And also you have the chance and ability to just learn from these videos. So you might buy the book yourself or learn yourself from my videos. And the brain, she fell in love with the brain in early age. I think she mentioned 6th grade. And in 6th grade, she had this experiment with, she was trying to grab inside a box, like a dark box, you know, like when people are, yeah, they're feeling something and it's a human head or something, but they can't see it, they just have to feel it by touch. And that was, and she mentioned that inside the first 2 chapters, that she was grabbing her hand inside a dark box and she was trying to feel if that bone, I think it was human bones, and try to explain which kind of human bone it was. Then she knew, she fell in love with neuroscience. And neuroscience is, I believe, one of the greatest things you can study. You don't need to be like a professional, but if you know how the brain works, you're basically able to tell your own engine, I mean your own functional source, how you should handle and tackle life. So for Wendy Suzuki, she's Japanese by the way, she knew that if she just was going to make this, she had to do a lot of studying, because out of, that's also in the first chapters, out of 50% of the girls and women studying neuroscience in her class in, I believe she went to Berkeley, out of 50%, only 28% were going to work with neuroscience in the later years. So that means that 22% of the neuroscientists that completed their degree on Berkeley was able to pursue their dreams and work with neuroscience later. So that's a big fell-off, at least at the girls' side. And she also mentioned that her mother wanted her to become a tennis player. So she played a lot of tennis when she was younger, but she was still this geeky nerd. She just liked math equations, and she figured out that she liked to just put things in and see the outcomes become the same or equal. And she just loved the I don't know, but you understand, when you put x equals 2 plus 4 x or something, then you have to figure out, and it works out in the end. And she loved the fascinating thing that if you just put it in right, you can basically solve all problems inside of the math language. And that's also a principle that I have kind of taken to me, because I believe that whatever you do in life, there's a balance. So I basically just believe in the principle of balance, because you see it everywhere. Like, if you work really hard, that equals success. That's my vision, right? And if you're like really tired, it equals that you'll pursue not being really tired. So it will kind of flat out in a normal, or in the middle. So if you're really high up, at some point you'll be really low down. And I've just been really low down, and now I'm on my way really high up. So that's what I believe. It's the concept of balance in life. So you can't be too high up or you can't be too low down. You have to find a like middle plateau to just pursue all the way. And since I've just read the 2 first chapters, that's basically what I can give you for this video. But if you want to learn, just purely learn by listening, not by reading, or yeah, I will not edit this video in any way, because I know by myself that if I'm watching someone with a lot of flashy edits and dopamine spikes there and there and there to keep people watching, then they are not here for the reason that I propose. Then they are here because their dopamine needs quick learning. They need quick ways to figure out things. And let's be honest, if you learn inside this book how to learn effectively, then everything will be much faster. So this is just chapter 1 and 2. If you want the rest, please like and subscribe, because I will continue to read this book so you don't have to. Healthy Brain, Happy Life by Wendy Suzuki. Also, one thing that I often do before I start to read books is I go to ChatGPT and then I just post in, tell me everything you know about this book and the key elements. And ChatGPT is basically restricted, so it can't tell you everything, but it can tell you like a summary of each chapter. And this is not by ChatGPT, by the way. This is what I learned fully and authentically by myself. Because I believe that ChatGPT is a tool, it's a great tool, but it can't help you pursue your dreams. You just have to use it as a tool. Because ChatGPT is just a search engine. It's no knowledge behind ChatGPT. It's just a search engine. And you can prompt it to kind of write to you in the way that you want to achieve the text, but nothing more. So it's a fascinating book. I'll read through it. And yeah, the 2 first chapters is basically just an introduction to how she got into neuroscience. And you can also see here, I don't know if I'm able to show it, but that's the illustration she has of the brain. It's just gray, hippocampus, frontal lobe. Yeah. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to learn more about this book, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one where I'll go over the 2 next chapters. And this is purely for self-development. So if you like self-development, I'm here for you. I'm developing myself, so I thought, why not just post it so people can learn from me while I learn from others. That's just a learning cycle for every one of us. But anyways, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.